What's up, y'all? Welcome to a new episode of Transcending the Culture. I am James. I got my road dog here, Tiff Tiff.
Hi,
What's happening, Tiff Tiff?
everybody.
Listen, when I heard you do that on the family reunion call the other day, I about fell out. What's happening?
Man, ripping and running and running and ripping.
I know.
I tell you what, cause I can sit up here and post a picture of my schedule. It's uncanny. It's uncanny how busy I am. And it's like I don't want to forget anything. I just overbooked myself. I was supposed to be at church Sunday, directing the children to come to find out I had scheduled myself to work. And I said, oh my God, Lord, please let the director that used to direct the kids, be able to come to church. She said, yes, I'll be there. I said, thank you, Jesus, because, honey, them kids wasn't singing Sunday. I'm going to tell you what I know. They was not.
Listen, it be so much stuff going on, and I know I be juggling 10 million different things in the daytime during the week. I'm so tired, but things are really, really good though. Things are looking really, really good for the network. Things are looking really good for Transcending the Culture. The numbers are going up. Obviously, the views are looking good. The shows are looking good. We're getting really, really good guests. So that's a really, really dope thing. To everybody wondering, Cat Queen should be popping in any minute. But we have a really, really good show in store for you guys tonight. As everybody knows, I have been running this podcast network for almost a year now. It'll be a year. Oh my God! Actually, in 2 weeks. In 2 weeks, it'll be a year. The time flown. On July 30th, we did the first episode of Transcending the Culture July 25th, and then the network officially launched on the first of August. So yeah, we did the first episode of Transcending the Culture. We had Mila from 702. She was on the show, which was like super, super dope. I've been able to do a lot of stuff with her throughout the years, so it was really cool to have her on the show. Like, she's been really supportive of not just that, but like everything that I've been doing. And that's kind of the cool thing, like I would say with my media brand, is that I have always worked to build solid and genuine relationships with the celebrities that we bring on, so that they consistently support us, and we can usually get them kind of at the drop of the dime. Like if we want them to do something, or if we launch a new platform and want them to come on, like a lot of times, or most times, they're like really willing to support, because they came on and we treat them good, and we don't talk crazy and be asking nothing retarded and like all of that stuff. Right. But yeah, so it's been almost a year. Things are going really, really good. Like, I'm super grateful for all of the people who have continued to support, the people that continue to come on, or people who continue to come on. And I think that we have done really good, extremely well as a unit, like you, Kat, and I, because obviously the podcast started off with me and somebody else. So
yeah, true story.
It was a huge transition, obviously, to switch that up, and for it to be the three of us, and really for us to get used to being on screen together and actually doing the podcast together, because even though I had been doing it a little bit, I really was kind of still new to it, and then you really was new to it, and Kat was new to it and had been wanting to do it. So it's really, really cool. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. This is good. So what else is? Go ahead.
What else has been so? Yeah, like just going back to what you were saying, because me and you had already been doing this for what?
Right.
KJ is 12 now, so about 10 years.
I was just telling Cassandra, like, I said, I don't care if Tiffany don't ever post nothing. Tiffany been my ride or die since the very beginning. Like, if I need some support and all of that stuff, and I say that, so you be in my mind. I'd be like, she ain't post nothing today, but she probably been on.
I posted. And you didn't see me post? I sure did, honey.
But no, it's cool though. I think that I think that we have a really good dynamic. Like we have some really faithful viewers who are here every Tuesday. Like hashtag be here every Tuesday.
Yes, hashtag me.
Like it's so many people who come on like faithfully every Tuesday, and if we don't come on, they asking questions like, "What happened?" Kim is on here every week.
Yes.
Kim streams it on her big TV in the living room, so like everybody at home is forced to watch us when we come on.
Okay,
So
Tim.
it's really, really, really cool. I appreciate, obviously all of the viewers and followers, but I appreciate you as well. I really wanted to talk a little bit before we actually go into our guest tonight, which I'll give you some more information about her as well. But I really wanted to talk a little bit just about some more things that are going to be coming up for the podcast. Obviously we've been adding different things, adding different segments. So we are going to have a couple new segments that I'm going to add in. And I think that this is something that I guess we all can do, from time to time, but I know I'm going to be doing a lot with it. So the first one is going to be called Back for the First Time. Essentially, what that's going to be is, I've been doing media for 20 years and I've been
Okay.
building all these relationships and so many people who I have had on different platforms that I've had. And, I had Urban Connections before I had UG Digital. So it's like all the people who I have interviewed back then, from the Little Waynes to the Rihannas to just, a lot of the people who have been out there for years and who supported us or supported me in the very beginning. I'm circling back to a lot of them and kind of bringing them into the new platform. So that's kind of where the Back for the First Time is, because a lot of them have not necessarily done anything with UGD, but they did something like with the
Right.
previous and everything. So
Right.
kind of back for the first time, introducing them to the new platform and just, bringing in obviously more people, but kind of circling back to some of those people who were like the original supporters when I started doing
Right.
it. So that's going to be the first one. The second
Okay.
one is the bucket list, which I think I had talked to you guys.
Oh,
Huh?
okay, cuz you get flashing it on the little screen. Okay, cuz. Okay.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do
It is
that.
boy, we throwing them big now. Next thing you know, we gonna have it on the TV right there.
Okay, so I'm gonna hit you with another one. But the bucket list,
Okay.
those are like the people, and I think this is where like you and Kat can be in that too. Like it's so many people who are out there, whether they're celebrities, whether they're entrepreneurs, whether they're whatever, who I feel have inspired me like in what I do and kind of pushed me in their own way, who have pushed me to do the things that I do. I've been trying to get Candy because when we had the
My
when we
twin.
with the pandemic,
Mm-hmm.
and they were doing the PPP loans for the businesses and whatnot.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she had a segment that she did called Money Making Mondays, and she did it with Lynn. I can never remember her last name, but Lynn does a lot of stuff with MC Light. So
Okay.
she was doing this segment every Monday, and she was streaming on YouTube, and it was called Money Making Mondays. So she talked a lot about the pandemic and the PPP loans and how you can do that, and you can do it the legit way, because obviously a lot of people were taking advantage of the PPP loans, but they was making up fake businesses, and they was just doing all kinds of stuff and just getting money, and then obviously getting in trouble for it after the fact. So really paying attention to this segment that they had put together, like they essentially taught me how to do the loan for my businesses, and I was able to get money. And then that money was ultimately written off because I did everything like you were supposed to do it and follow the
Right.
steps, and they wrote it off. So that was,
Wow.
essentially free money.
Right.
So that, and there's so many other things. Like I've had an opportunity to really sit and talk to her, and I've talked to Todd, and I've met her mother, and I've met her aunts, and just the entire family. So I really have been working to get her on the platform. So that would be like one person who I would have like on the bucket list, and then like the Rosie O'Donnells, and like it's so many other people who have inspired me like in this whole media journey that that I really want to connect with. So I am making like, I guess, a whole podcast, so to speak, but then I want to run like segments of it here on Transcending Culture. So that's something else that we'll be doing. And then obviously, Cat Got Your Tongue, and that's going to be a segment on here where she brings some stuff in on here too. And then I know you'll have some of your segments, or we'll have some segments that are devoted to you, just in terms of like bringing physicians on and talking about rheumatism, breast
Yeah,
cancer, sort
the
of thing.
health part, and some history as well.
Absolutely,
You know,
yeah. So
and get that.
that's something coming. Obviously, everybody knows that the radio station is launching in September. So UGD Live. Okay. He did it. UGD Live. That's gonna be the lead off show. And I've been working on that piece of it, and I know you want something to do with that show, and you're gonna have something to do with the show. Even though I've been talking about, I ain't bringing Tiffany on there because I ain't bringing, but you already know you're gonna have something to do with the show. So that's happening.
That was the
I don't
first
have.
setup. Remember, with me and you was the radio
I know.
show, and
I know.
I really enjoyed it. Like, oh man, me, you, Shine.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot going on with that. So that's coming to. I don't have an official launch date for that show. It's definitely going to be in the fall, so like
Okay.
probably fourth quarter. But the station itself is launching in September, so I have a lot of that stuff together. I'm actually turning a room here in the house into a studio, so that like we'll have somewhere to do the show and all of that stuff. So it's a lot. It's a lot that's going on, and of course, my podcast, The Black Print, that's going to be launching. I keep saying every week, I'm gonna do it next Sunday, and then that Sunday coming, I'm like, I'm gonna do it next Sunday, and I'm gonna do it next Sunday. So I'm getting that together too. But that's just kind of like a brief overview of what we have going on. I know again I've talked to you and Kat about it, but I wanted to kind of mention it
Mhm.
to the viewers. I see some of you guys on here. Again, we really do appreciate you guys checking us out. We are going to start throwing some comments into the chat room in just a second, but welcome everybody that's just popping in. Welcome. I know we got people on YouTube, we got people on Facebook, people on Twitter. So people are starting to flood in. So I think it's time. I think it's a good time for us to actually transition to our guest. So with this podcast network, one of the biggest goals has been to get other people to do podcasts on the network. So, Amanda, or we'll say Lady Poet, because she be killing me about putting her government out there. So Lady Poet wanted to launch this podcast, and it's really centered around mental health. The cool thing, and when she first mentioned it, I said, you know what, that would be really dope. It'll be really successful. So many people need it, and you'll have a lot of viewers. And she thought I was crazy, and she said, ain't nobody gonna watch, and they're not gonna watch. And the minute she started doing it, like people were flooding in. Like she's got episodes now that have hit 100 views, like within a couple days after viewing, which is really really dope. Um, but there's genuine effort in this podcast. Um, and when I say like we all are dealing with things. We all have stuff going on. A lot of people call it mental health. People are going through depression, and it's
Mhm.
just so much stuff happening out here. So, Open Letters to a Survivor, which is the podcast, like it's really dope. It's a really really healing experience because you get an opportunity not just to talk about different stuff, but you get to hear each other's stories and things that have happened in their lives and how they dealt with it and how that relates to you and then how you can deal with it in your own life. And it's helping me, it's helping them, it's definitely helping the viewer. And I think that it really will help our viewers here. So I thought it would be really dope to bring some of the team on here. So, of course, it's a Tuesday night, so everybody has something going on. So, we were able to pull one of the main ladies from the show, Cassandra Williams. Listen, she has some amazing things going on herself outside of Open Letters to a Survivor. And this is going to be an opportunity not only for her to talk about open letters, but also for her to talk about the things going on in her life and the things that she's working on and, what she's most proud of. And it's a whole lot of stuff that, we'll be able to cover in this time. So if you guys will join me in welcoming Cassandra Williams to the show from Open Letters to. Why are you laughing at me, Cassandra?
Thank you for saying it correctly, Sanda.
So listen,
Dang.
um, first and foremost, I want to say thank you because you and I, we have not known each other for very long. So, just transparency, like you came into the picture obviously after Open Letters had started and you were essentially a guest on the show and you were going to be filling in for Lady Poet is her name. So you were going to be filling in Lady Poet just in her absence. And that kind of turned into you being on there every week. Um, I think it's amazing. I think the dynamic is just beautiful between you and K Love and Lady Poet, and then we have Tim who comes on there and does the motivational minute, which I swear to God, I feel like I'm in church every time he do it. But it's like it's just really really dope. I think what you have is amazing, and I think there's a certain element that you bring to the podcast that was not there before you came. And obviously, K Love and Lady Poet are amazing with what they're doing, but once you came in and it was like the three of you and the way that it bounces and how organized it is when you ladies do the show and how you're working ahead and you have stuff planned and you have different series going on, like I think it's really really amazing. I'm grateful to have you as part of the team, but I want to give you an opportunity to kind of introduce yourself to everybody and just kind of start from there.
Okay. First of all, thank you very much for that segue introduction. I really appreciate it.
You are
Like you
very
said, this was totally unexpected and unplanned on my part. And for anybody who knows me, they know that I'm like all about planning. Um, and so,
I am too. It's funny,
but
Lady Poet and I just had a conversation today because she had some appointments to go to, and I took her, and
mm,
the people there kind of screwed up, which
mm,
then kind of pushed the time back. And when she finally saw me, she was like, "What's wrong?" And I was like, "You know what? Like I'm an hour and a half behind." And she was like, "But it's not my fault." I'm like, "I know. I promise. I know. So don't." But I gotta get it out, and I know it's not your fault. I promise, I know it's not your fault. But because I meticulously planned, and I have stuff on the calendar, and I got my times marked out, like when it
yeah.
fall off, especially an hour or something, oh, I'm mad.
hmm It's a lot. It's a lot. And being an
Yeah,
educator 21 years, like, your whole life is set up on a schedule, literally. So I get it.
absolutely.
But I
Right.
have to this whole year of my life has been unplanned, at least from my perspective, right? But it's definitely been a divine plan. And
Yeah,
so I have to acknowledge that. So that being said, yeah, I came on to the podcast as a guest. And as we were, Lady Poet and I were going back and forth via Messenger, just getting everything together, making sure I sent her what she needed for me to come on in the guest spot.
mhm.
And she wrote to me one day and she said, "Please don't think I'm crazy." And I was like, "Oh, Lord." She's like, "How folks do it. Don't think I'm crazy." You like, "Oh, okay." So she's like, "Please don't think I'm crazy." But she said, "I literally had a dream." She's like, "I don't know what your faith or whatever is." She said, "But I have a strong faith in God and I have to be obedient." And she was like, "And in this dream, it was to ask you if you would come on um, to host on my behalf. I'll be absent, coming up, and if you could host in my place." And I read that like I had to 10 times. And I'm like, and every reason not to do it was going through my mind. I'm not a podcaster. I'm not a host. What do I
Right,
know?
right, right.
And the whole nine. And I really had to go back and think, again, my whole life, particularly in this last year and a half, has completely
Mhm.
been not by my design or my hand. Not to say that your whole life isn't, but you know what I mean? Like, everything has been completely almost opposite of what I thought it was going to be. And it's
Absolutely.
worked out in ways that have definitely benefited me and my family alike. So, with that in mind, I was like, all right, it's just another, okay, and we didn't know each other from Adam. I mean,
Yeah,
did
yeah,
not. And so the fact that, it spoke to me that she saw something about me, that there was a word given to her, because that's not something people do. It's like birthing a
Right.
baby. You don't hand your baby over to any and everybody.
Right.
You almost
yeah,
don't hand that newborn over to anybody. By the time they
yeah.
get about 12, so you like, okay, you want to.
Period.
So yeah, so that's how I ended up. And so she was like, well, we'll just work with you behind the scenes and we'll give you a segment to do, can you do the open letter? So I've been writing the
Yeah.
open letter. And then she was just like, you know what? Like, forget it. We're just gonna bring you on the show.
It's really, there's like I said, there's a dynamic that you bring to the podcast. Like I don't know how much I know you watch sometimes, Tip, but I know a lot of times like you have sports with the baby and all kinds of stuff going on. So I don't know how
Mhm.
much you've been able to catch it, but and I say catch it when Cassandra has been on, and then even before she came on, like even as
Hmm.
far as the letter itself. I think I
Right.
was always under the impression in the very beginning that Amanda was writing this letter, and then if she didn't do it, then K Love did it, and that could have very well been what was going on,
Yeah.
because there's a dynamic where like this is genuinely a passion for Lady Poet. Ain't nobody catch what I called her before. Lady Poet, Lady Poet. So there's a different dynamic with Lady Poet because this is absolutely her passion. Like she has been wanting to do this podcast and she has been prepping for it for a long time. So there's a lot of stuff that she just will do and she'll have done. So she could have very well been putting all that stuff together, but then once you came in, I could
She
just
was ready.
tell just from knowing you the little bit that I do, and then getting to know your personality, it dawned on me that she's writing these letters. Like she is real. Like she wrote that letter. I can tell. I know. I know that Lady Poet didn't write that. I think she wrote that, and it started to become more clear to me, like the element that you were really adding to the podcast. And I love the fact that things can be broken up now. Obviously, I've
Hmm.
been in media 20 plus years, like almost 25 years. And a lot of it I've been doing kind of solo. So I understand all of the pieces and the parts that go into obviously putting together these podcasts and putting together different shows and putting together magazine articles because I published a digital magazine also. And there's just a lot that goes into it. So for there to be an element now where it's broken up and you can do the letter and she can do this piece and then K Love can do that piece, like it's beautiful because then neither person is overworked and to me it just comes together in better harmony. So I think there's a big element that you add to the podcast.
Thanks. And for me, it's therapeutic, actually.
Right.
I, but I'm talking to me, right? So, and it's sure there's an alignment, team,
Mhm.
yes, that whole thing. But it's always writing to myself as well. So like I said, there's an element of being therapeutic about it. And you made that mention when you were talking about the show and how it's not
Yeah,
only beneficial viewers and to the guests, but it benefits us as the host as well because
Absolutely.
we're people. So we all dealing with whatever we're dealing with.
Oh,
So
God.
everybody can relate to some aspect of somebody's,
Absolutely.
and that's really
In
cool.
what ways would you say that it has helped you just in, I want to say just in, I think, balance overall, because you have you have a lot going on, from you and obviously work and doing this podcast. And I'm pulling out fingers as I say all the things you got working on. And then you got the kids who you have tried to send over to the house a couple times already. And like you have a lot going on, and the kids itself can be, I mean, that can consume everything. Like I only have one child, and he's getting ready to turn 18, and he can consume it all and take over everything, and I don't have time for nothing else. So it's like, how are you balancing, and how is this podcast helping you to be able to balance better? Given that you have multiple children, and still everyday life that's going on, and just the regular life things that happen kind of in the meantime too.
I think first and foremost, like you have to have your village, right? Um,
Right.
because nobody's an island to themselves. Things happen, and you have to have people in place who you love, who you trust, um, and who have your back. And so I can definitely say without a shadow of a doubt that I have that hands down, 10 toes down, whatever down you want to call it.
Yeah.
So like my mom is there for me all the time. My brothers, my sister-in-laws, my aunts, like, my friends, just being able to come in and step in, and then like, what, maybe you need a moment, we got them,
Yeah.
and that's cool because again, like we were talking about self-care this Sunday, and that's something that I'm leaning a lot more into. Having left from the East Coast, I'm back here in the Midwest. This is where I'm from. So now I'm again surrounded by my base, my family, and so that helps with that balance, that
Yeah.
support, and being able to add in the podcast and still doing some work around setting up my own business and looking at in the meantime my work, because honestly, I mean, I tell you, it's been a divine setup. It's been a divine setup. I left from the East Coast unplanned, just got my stuff, like Max would say on a living single, pack your raggedy duffel bags and left.
Didn't she? Didn't she? Didn't she? She sure did. She was very adamant of that.
And that's what her man did, and she was very ticked off, but I get it. Right? Like we literally had a bag of laundry and paperwork, and when the coast was clear, so to speak, I was out. So with 3 kids in tow,
Yeah.
and that's a lot. And so when I got back to Michigan and was able to settle in a bit, and in a lot of ways I'm still settling because we haven't been here a year just yet.
Okay.
um and so it's been a lot, like, I haven't, I've come to visit always to see my family, whatever, and they'll come out and visit me, but I have not lived here since I graduated from high school.
Yeah.
So when I left, my youngest, I have 2 younger brothers. My youngest brother, and I didn't even think about it till we got here last August. His birthday is the end of August. So we
Okay.
came in for his birthday. And I was like, oh my God, it dawned on me that I had not physically been with him on his birthday because it was always towards the start of the school year and whatever. And as a teacher, like I was just never available for that.
Yeah.
Right.
But I'm like, oh my God, the last time I was with him on his birthday, he turned 4. And and he turned 34 last year.
Jesus. Wow, 30 years.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So it's like looking at things from that perspective. Um,
How was
kind
that
of
for him?
it was it's settled. It's daunting, I think, because again, I left here as a 17-year-old. I'm 47.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
same age
the
as
whole
me.
yeah, my whole mindset is totally different. I left as a kid, back as a grown woman.
Oh wow.
I had kids of my own, and I wasn't driving when I lived here. Now I am. So like
Yeah. Yeah.
I see things literally from a whole different perspective. And I won't claim it as a start over. People are like, "Oh, you starting your life over?" Nah, it's a pivot. Because again, I can bring all of my prior experience with me, um,
Absolutely.
and use that as my base to move forward. So you're not starting from a clean slate. Um, and I have to like be mindful of that. But yeah, it's really daunting to know like wow, and that it wasn't planned. And so when I said to my mom like, listen, I've had enough, like can I come back with you for a bit? And she was like, come on.
Absolutely.
That was the whole conversation.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Well, what was some things that got you starting to write? What was some things that came in your head like, oh, you know what, let me write about my family, or let me write about this or write about that? What got you started into doing that?
Well, like I said, for the show, because it's called Open Letters to a Survivor, and so Lady Poet literally has her segment where it opens up with a letter, dear.
Okay.
And so when I came on as a guest, like James was saying, typically she was writing the letters and reading them out as that segment, and then use it as her segue to introduce the guest. And so again, as she and I were messaging back and forth to set things up, she asked, and I kind of put out there like, do you want me to write the letter, or are you writing? Like, it didn't matter to me. I just wanted to know. And so she was like, you know what, that would be really cool if you wrote it, since you're the guest and you'll be able to speak to the survivors, to our viewers from your point of view and from your perspective. So I was like, okay. And so I'm like, you want me to send it to you? Like, how do you need me to send it so you can review it? She's like, nope. She's like, I'll hear it on the show. And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
okay. so
It
so
was
that's a huge level of trust.
Yeah.
right, right. It
But
was
I think that speaks volumes to you. And sorry to cut you off, Tim.
uh,
Um,
uh,
I was just gonna say, I think that speaks volumes to, again, what you bring to the podcast, but then also
yeah,
just your overall spirit. And because like when you came in on that first episode, like you just grabbed us. Like I remember mentioning to her, like after that first show, I was like, oh my God, Lady Poet. See how I fixed that? Because I almost said it. Um, I was like, oh my God, Lady Poet, like this was so dope. Like you just don't understand like the dynamic of being able to bounce off of three different people, and like y'all
yeah.
obviously working to get like it just was, I thought it was beautiful. Like I thought it worked very well. And I remember her saying, I don't know, I don't want to throw too much on her. I don't know if she, because I was like, well, is she coming back or is she gonna keep doing it? And she was like, I don't want to throw too much on her. And I don't know. So that was like the conversation that we had. But obviously she took some time and she thought about it, because when you came on that first week, I was like, she's perfect. Like it works very, very well. Okay, here's Cat Queen popping in. But I was like, it works so well. I think that you're great on the show. And like I said, like it really helps all of us, because even, for those of you who saw the show this past Sunday, like obviously we were talking about self-care, but we also just talked about having things that we need to take care of in our lives as adults, and we know what we need to do, but sometimes it just doesn't get done, and then the consequence comes, and it's like accepting the accountability but not beating yourself up.
Yeah.
um, and listen, it's so much to gain from watching Open Letters to a Survivor. So I think it's really, really dope. That's my favorite word, though. But I think it's really, really cool. Um, and I appreciate what you bring to it. But okay, go ahead, Tiff. And Kat, she had popped in for a second. I imagine she'll be right back.
So, I'm a two-time survivor of two different things. I'm a survivor for breast cancer. Mine was hormonal, and I'm a survivor from an abusive relationship as well. So, it's like the letters. I got a lot of letters I could write. and so on and so on and so on. The biggest support of me being a survivor was the support of my family and friends. It was the breast cancer was years ago. Back in 2015, I had found out, and I just had major surgery. Just what was that last month? So I just had major surgery to the point where after all of these years, now I feel relief. And because I'm the health, because for me, James is like all about the music, Kat is the trending, I'm basically the health. So to get the doctors in and whatnot, to discuss some things, because a lot of people have so much to so many questions, and there's nobody there. There's nobody there to answer them for them. And then too, being in an abusive relationship, that I have post traumatic stress from, but it's like I haven't gained closure with that yet. I haven't gained any closure with it. But I'm trying, per se. I still have issues. I still have, the past in me, and I'm trying to deal with that. You guys' letters, I'm super busy as everybody is, but I'm going to be watching, and I want you to just keep continuing putting out those letters. I don't care what, it's different types of survivors, there's different types, but I want you guys to just continue to put out those letters, because you never know who's out there watching. You got people that's, we on this podcast, and there's people that's watching, but you don't know who watching. You know what I'm saying? So it's a God blessing that you're on the podcast now. See, you didn't even know you was going to be on the podcast. We should have swooped her up before Lady Poe did. But that's neither here nor there. That's neither here nor there. Hi, good cousin.
Hi, cousin. Hi, Transcenders. How's everybody doing?
What's up? So listen, the floor is gonna be yours to start, because
we're done.
But we've been waiting on you. Cuz.
Oh my goodness! Spotlight on me. Well, you guys know I am a viewer of Open Letters to a Survivor. I be on there all the time asking questions. I be trying to ask inciting questions. Like I'm like, ooh, what y'all think about this? Or like I be on there trying to give my little 2 cents. And I be having my little alias pages. Y'all don't even be know it's me. I be on there like, girl, that's crazy, girl.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be. Well, Sunday I can't be on there because we have to sing downtown Akron. I'm in a gospel group with me and my mom. So that Sunday, give me a pass on that. So
yeah, but like our podcast, you can always go back and rewatch on all the platforms. So if you miss it, and for any transcenders, if you miss Open Letters to a Survivor, or if you miss Transcending the Culture, you can always go back. It's available on YouTube. We're on Roku. Any one of our Facebook pages, you can go back and look at the live anytime that you want. And then I usually share the link for Open Letters to a Survivor on my page. So if anybody wants to see, you can go ahead and check it out there. Really good podcast. Really good. You guys have a really good community. You guys have a group going. And you guys have like your own little, like when I be on there, y'all know when people comment, y'all be like, oh, there goes such and such, and she know all about it, because I'm like, dang, y'all know exactly who on there. Like, y'all have a great following.
Yeah.
What time do you guys come on?
So 7 p.m. on Sunday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then, like Cat Queen said, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, Apple TV. Like James got us going. But it's cool. And thank you so much. Ladies, I caught the first episode of Transcending the Culture, so it gave me a little taste of you guys. And so I have to tell James he has to like get me, set up so that I get all the links and everything going. But I feel the energy and the vibe from you guys. And it's like, it's the cool part where you kind of like get the tea, right? So and so I definitely like that aspect of it as well. So I am honored to be able to come on to represent us from Open Letters to a Survivor. Like, we're family, right? We're all family. So.
Yes, ma'am.
We family here for sure.
Absolutely. And Tiff, I just wanted to say to you, thank you first off for sharing what you did about your life. I know it was really brief, but it's still vulnerable to be able to speak to survivorship from whatever standpoints there are. And when you spoke about wanting and needing closure, that's defined in various ways. And so I just say to you, sis, that I pray your peace, because it may or may not be the closure in the way that you're expecting it. And so I wouldn't want you to hang your hat on waiting for it to look the way that you may intend for it to look. But I definitely pray your peace if the closure doesn't show itself for what your expectations are. But you'll get what you need.
Yeah, it's hard. I mean, the person is deceased now, but he's still in my heart and everything. We share a child, so but other than that, it's I have my family, my cousins, here and everything. This one lady, she just was diagnosed with breast cancer. She's brand new to our gospel group. She didn't even know I had breast cancer in my age, so she was like, well, I just found out. She said it's all over her breast, on her left side. It's in her lymph nodes. So when I got to telling her my story, and I showed her pictures, she said all she could do was just shake her head, because she wanted to know what to look forward to per se. So I was like, I'm kind of even leery of giving you, these pictures. So she said, no, but I want to know. So if anybody goes on your platform, you guys' podcast, and I don't care what questions it is, just try your best to answer them for them, because that lady had no idea what I went through. I said I was stage 3 cancer. I could tell this story until I die. And sometimes I'd be like, I don't want to keep telling the story. People be like, oh, here she go again. But I'm going to tell you what, baby, people that's going through it, they have no idea. And this was back in 2016 up until now. These doctors is cut different. These doctors, half of them don't care. Nothing. That's why I be, try to get the doctors on here so people have, ask questions and all this and that, so they can get closure. So they can survive their mind and all that. And people need to know, where to go, who to go to for that. So
yeah. Like Tiff said, we all have a story. Like, everybody has a story. Everybody has trauma, whether you really think you do or not. Like, you can have trauma from a teacher calling your question stupid or anything. And people don't realize and just be like, oh, well, my parents didn't beat on me, so I'm good or whatever. You don't know what you're holding on to. And I say any person, whether you're going through something or not, really should be seeking out some type of therapy. somebody to talk to that is a professional, that's not just your friends and your cousins, your best friend, your boyfriend, because sometimes talking through those feelings and things can put a strain on your relationships. And the other person might feel like, I know sometimes I'm going through it and I might have somebody call me and they just lay their burdens on me. And I'm like, dang, I really didn't need that right now. I really didn't have the mental space to deal with your stuff and my stuff. So I definitely, as a person, I've been in therapy. I want to say I've been with my therapist maybe 4 years and 3 years consistently. Like I go every 2 weeks. And even when I'm feeling a little zany, I go every week. Okay.
Girl.
Like ain't no shame in my game. And I want to say something that it has really helped me with my boundaries. That's something that I didn't even know I dealt with. Because I'm one of them people that be like, oh, I'm not about to do that. Or, so I'm thinking, oh, I'm good. I know how to have healthy boundaries. And then I'm starting to realize, hey, the reason I'm blowing up and I'm having an attitude is because I didn't say no the first time when I wanted to. I did something I didn't want to. I let somebody say something to me, or I let somebody cross a line that I didn't want them to cross, and I didn't bring up the first time, and I didn't bring up the second time, and I didn't bring up the third time, and by the fourth time, now I'm blowing up, now I'm going crazy, and everybody looking at me like, you crazy. Angry, you crazy,
you just crazy.
And it took me to realize that, hey, yes, I do got a little anger problem. Speak on that. But when I start putting healthy boundaries and start holding people to that, I stopped being less angry because I didn't have nothing to be mad about. I said no the first time, and it is what it is. I said, you're not going to treat me like this the first time, and it is what it is. So I don't have to cry next week about how you was treating me because I said no today.
Right.
Because no is the whole statement, right? Like no. And
no
explanation needed. It's a whole statement. And the same thing, the therapy, when James, you talked about what's been helping. Every 2 weeks, I started, I think in January. And it really does help, and like you said, learning your boundaries. And what I've come to realize is that and I can speak for myself, right? I think I thought of boundaries in terms of them being set up, but it's for other people to respect and acknowledge. It's for, and the boundaries are for you. And because you have to set them, but you have to acknowledge them. And like you said, Cat Queen, once you realize that you needed it for you, for your peace, for your mental, then that's when it's easy to enforce, and B, it's like, if you take it, that's cool, thank you. If you don't, guess what, that's cool too, because I'm out. Because you're not gonna destroy me because you can't respect and accept
right.
And it means a lot, and I've had to come to understand that. And as always, you teach people how to treat you, and it's true.
Yeah.
And you treat them the first time. I think I had to learn that it's hard to reteach them how to treat you. Like I like to go, I've learned to stop giving people second chances and to stop teaching people how to love me, or stop teaching people, because you know how to respect somebody, you know how to love somebody, and you know how I want to be treated, and what's okay and what's not. So I'm definitely learning about that. But I did want to touch on something you just said, which you said, no, that's the complete statement. That's it. And I have had to stop saying no because I have something to do, or blah, blah, blah. Or because when you give those open ends and they say, oh, well, I'll figure that out for you, or I'll pick up your daughter, or no, I said no. And I've been starting to just put no, period. Ain't nothing, just period, explanation point if I need to. Okay.
And that's the issue that I have, not saying no. I'm always okay. And then now my body is wore out, because I don't say no.
And we got to take care of ourselves, because if it ain't no Tiff, you can't take care of nobody else.
Absolutely.
Right. And then you have that balance between your boundaries and asking for help. So there's the no, But then there's also when you do need support, like being able to say it. Um, and I
Absolutely.
that because you used to most people, you used to doing your thing. Like I got it. I got this. I'm gonna manage it. I'm gonna handle it. And because most of the time it seems that you are, right, you're handling and managing the task, but what is that doing to you physically? What is it doing to you mentally? What is it doing to you emotionally? And you so busy grinding that you're not thinking about those aspects of things until your body starts yelling out to you that something is not right. Because your body will tell you when it needs a break and it's going to shut down one way or the other. Stress is real. And so, stress has its physical manifestations. And so, you have to like really take those things into consideration. And I was going to say, Cat Queen, I'm going to throw this out here kind of like as a devil's advocate. When you were speaking and you said like people like how to treat me, how to love me, how to respect me. What I'm coming to find personally, not everybody does.
You're right.
Sometimes that they should. Seriously, and there was a post on Facebook about this on one of my sister-in-law's groups, and I was like, that's one of the things that I've had to come to terms with. And as much as it ticks me off, right? Because you think that you see a situation where it's like I'm juggling 50,000 things and you want to come and add a million more because you don't see that I'm juggling these. How can you not see it? Right. and like, how can you not figure out how to step in and support? Because they don't see it. They don't know. They don't think that it's an issue. They do think that you can manage 1,001 things and walk and run and talk and chew gum all at the same time and be
Yeah.
okay with it. And so I think the frustration becomes when we really think that people do know these, like it, particularly in relation to you, right? Whatever
Yeah.
your relationship is to each other, they don't know. You do have to say it. You do have to tell them, because then when we assume that people are mind readers, that's just a setup for failure to you. And that's where your boundaries go all awry and disappear and all these type of things, because you're steadily assuming that somebody knows you well enough or ought to know you well enough to be able to see and assume all these other things. And they genuinely, as much as you feel like it is so obvious, they don't.
Yeah, no, people really don't know how to have, give and take relationships and things, depending on how they grew up, what type of relationships they saw growing up, and what kind of relationships they participated in. I'm just talking about the bare minimum of I don't want you lying to me. I don't want you cheating on me. I
Cheating
don't
on
want
me.
you
Accusing me. Yeah.
disrespectful stuff.
Yeah.
Because I can teach you that, hey, I like flowers. Hey, I prefer acts of service over, hey, good morning, what you doing, blah blah blah. I'm not a lip service type of person. I'm more of a, let me change your windshield wipers, because I know you ain't changed them, and you can't see while you're driving. So let me do that for you. I'm that type of person. I can teach you how to love me like that, but I'm not going to teach you not to lie to me. I'm not going to teach you not to show up late to our dates. I'm not going to teach you to not when people go no contact for 2-3 days and where you go. I'm not teaching nobody that, because I'm over that. I'm done past that point. I feel like, I make it known in the beginning, hey, this is what I like, this is what I expect. But I'm not gonna keep beating the net over the head. Hey, you need to call me. You need to be doing this. Why you liking this girl's pictures? Why are you doing? I don't do all that no more.
Yeah.
My
I don't have
boundaries
time for all that.
are you need to respect me. I respect you. We can learn to love each other. But them, them habitual line steppers, I'm done with that. I'm done trying to, hey, step back. I'm not doing that no more. You step over them lines, I'm going Casper. Okay. because because in therapy I've learned, and this was a hard lesson for me to learn, I cannot control nobody else. I can't control their actions. I can't control what they do. I can't control who they talk to. I can't control if they bad mouthing me or whatever, I cannot control what they're doing.
Right.
At most, or at least I can do is remove myself from that situation if I feel that it's not for me. And that goes for friends, family, jobs, anything that I feel like it's just not sitting right with me and I don't feel like it can be rectified and these people are just habitually stepping over my lines and my boundaries, then I have to take myself out, because you're not going to stop. That's the one thing I learned. They're not going to stop. A lot of times these people, when they show you that they just going to keep, you know, disrespecting you or disrespecting your time or whatever they're doing to, you know, cross your boundaries, they most likely don't stop. Mm-hmm. Especially with people like me that I'll be like, okay, you know, let me give you a chance. Let me give you some leeway. You know, I feel like I was a lot like that, because I feel like I have made mistakes and stumbled and have corrected and rectified it. But I'm not seeing, if I don't see that from the other person, and that could be anybody, that could be a boss, that could be my boss, me telling my boss, hey, on my off days, I don't want no one texting me or emailing me on my off days, because that is my off day. I will answer you before I go on my break. I will talk to you when I get back, but I don't really like you bombarding me or calling me, hey, can you come in? I said this is my off day, and if that's my boundary, that's my boundary. And if they keep doing that, I gotta get up out of here. So I don't know. Yeah. But yeah, so that's something that I've been learning, and just trying to work with that and knowing who to, you know, give leeway to and who to, you know, back my energy up from. You know, it's a learning curve. We're all humans. We are not perfect.
Absolutely.
But you know, I'm trying to fix some things within myself that I feel were broken. So,
well, with you, I go see my therapist almost. I had 2 therapists. I did. The one, me and her just couldn't see eye to eye being consistent. The other one, she I love her. She's a white lady and she cracks me up. And I literally had to like teach myself how to do things in a relationship. Like as far as like try not to do so much arguing. So it's like if I see it trying to escalate, I kind of back away, I shy away, or I just, you know, I just basically I shut down. And try, you know, because it gives me a headache. It's like gives me a headache anymore, and especially when you have a child involved. So it's like that person, your significant other, and you know, you guys have to have an understanding of, all right, me and you both have to see eye to eye or some things. And sometimes he may not see eye to eye on you, you may not see eye to eye on him. So it's like, okay, well, basically both of y'all just need to just shy away and just come back. You know what I'm saying? You know, I have where my window is with myself on a daily basis. I basically have the same routine. Okay. I rarely switch up unless I go out with some friends or some family, you know, on the weekends or whatever. But I basically have the same routine. And which means if I switch up, I may forget and say, hey, I'm going here, but I'm going here afterwards. I may forget that. And your significant other may be like, well, you didn't say that. You know what I'm saying? And it's like me, it's like I try not to make everything a big deal. It ain't no big deal. I'll do it. Or it ain't no big deal. Let's do it this way. But that other person be like, it is a big, you know, will make it a big deal. I really, because life is too short. You know what I'm saying? And I just don't want to yell about it. Or I don't. It's exhausting as hell. Like I'm sorry, I got this little puppy over here. But it's like, come on, let's just, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal across my forehead. But when you got the child involved and the child want to act stupid and want to make everything a big deal.
Speak on
look, I had to throw a shoe at him this morning.
Listen, I tell Kayla, I be one of them old grandmas. I be like,
that shoe went flying. He said, "Ma, next time it's gonna be your face, bruh. It's gonna be your face." I'm saying it on national social media.
That must be a family thing, because for sure, and I don't got no aim either. So she just run when I take the shoe. The shoe just fly wherever. I be breaking my own dang stuff. It don't never hit her. But she bothered me too much. I get real
true.
quick with it. Somebody said you acting like somebody's old boiler.
No. When he was downstairs, and so I have a mirror downstairs at the bottom, because you know when I gotta walk down the stairs, I got to see myself walking down the stairs, bro. I got to see myself. Hey. So I got hello. So he's sitting there in the mirror. So he said something, and I took my tennis shoe. He said, "Put it down. Put the weapon down." I said, but when he got in his room, that shoe went to flying, and it just made him like Donald Trump's ear. Just missed your ear, bro.
Ted, please. I can't. Not the ear. Not the fake
ear.
shot. Oh man. But you're right about that. It's something about it. Listen, it's something about when you trying to go through your emotions and that kid acting up. Girl, I'll be like, am I as healed as I think I am? Because this child getting on my nerves right now. You know, and kids, they ain't got no bounds. They don't care about no bounds. They don't care about nothing. But you know, I do feel like me going through therapy and learning, especially like me learning anger management techniques and things like that, have definitely helped me be a better parent. And even just going to talk and have that, knowing I have that therapy session. Like I have my therapy session tomorrow. I know I'm gonna go tell her, girl, guess what your little, I be talking about your godchild to my therapist. Like, guess what your godchild did? Guess what this girl did now, you know? But it's something that has helped me along with my parenting and my mothering. I always talk to my family and friends, but like I said, having an outside person, that objective person, especially that person that has this medical training and can give you these tools and tips and tricks and things like that, you know, it definitely helps, especially like me and my daughter, and I've shared this before on the show. My daughter is autistic, nonverbal, so that can get really stressful for me. Yeah. And we have all kind of, you know, she had meltdowns, and we have all kind of crisis mode and all kind of things. And I remember a couple of weeks ago when I was really in my crisis, my daughter was having issues with insomnia and not sleeping. So in turn, I wasn't sleeping, and I was just like, I was hanging on by a thread. But I know when I had my therapy session, I just let all it out. I mean, I probably just sat there and cried for a good 20 minutes just because I was so tired and exhausted and all these things. And then once I got all of that out, girl, I had a sleep like I never thought I could have. I finally could rest. Like I was holding all this tension and, you know, all this stress, and it was like, even though I could, you know, lay down and go to sleep, my mind and my body was so wound up. Once I got all that stuff out, I felt so much better. So we got lady poet in the building. Hi, lady poet.
I have a comment for lady poet. I thought we wasn't giving governments.
Oh, she on the personal page.
That's all I'm saying. You know. So I'm saying, don't be blowing up at me.
Period.
That's how I be. I don't, you know, say my full name in my professional life, but then I'll be somewhere, I'll be like, girl, my name is spelled da, 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 and they be like, honey, like, listen to yourself. Like, you ain't even paid attention. I'm like, dang, I thought I was being incognito, but apparently not.
I think this has been really amazing having Cassandra here. And to be perfectly honest, I feel like Tiff would be great to appear on Open Letters.
Oh, listen at you,
No, I do. I really do.
I would love if I get the invitation. I would definitely love it.
Oh, not it. And we're sending you the invitation because I was thinking. And Cat Queen, I'll send it over to you. I have a resource for you that I think would be extremely helpful in helping you with your daughter, because I know someone who professionally whose daughter is also autistic and on the spectrum, and she devoted her whole livelihood around that and the work doing, particularly in raising a young Black girl. At the time, her daughter's about 22, I think. But she was talking about how there was such a lack of resources specifically focusing on girls, that there was a lot of boys, but so I have her information. I'm going to send that over.
Thank you. I definitely appreciate it. I'm always looking for resources, and especially because I do some advocacy work with other parents of kids with special needs and things. So I would definitely love that. And yes, there is a lack of resources with our disabled community, especially our young ladies. And my daughter is in that crack right now. She's 16 years old. So she's too old for daycare and too young for adult care. So she's in that middle space where there's really not much resources. And she's not able to go to some of them because a lot of them are for teenage boys. And she can't be in that environment. Well, I choose not to place her in that type of environment. It's just not going to work for her. So thank you so much for sharing your resources with us and definitely sharing your story. And we look forward to keep watching Open Letters to a Survivor for sure.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to tune in. Listen, I'm probably gonna be on stage trying to go on my phone and see what they talking about.
That be Tip all the time. She be trying.
I'm gonna be like,
yeah, Tiffany being quiet. Y'all on the podcast yet?
Right. She be in the comments. We be like, I thought you was at church. She be, I am.
Right. So, just to kind of bring it to a close, what is the ultimate thing that viewers can get from Open Letters to a Survivor?
I think that our viewers will get, again, a sense of self, seeing yourself, being able to resonate with someone else's story. We present a kind of a multifaceted approach. So some months are stories of survivors. Some months are like we have a mentorship month coming up next month. Right now we're on self-care and small business owners. In November, it'll be a focus on therapists who are coming in to provide, much like you're saying, Tiffany, like having medical support and expertise to come in to play. October we'll be back to story. So there's a good mix. And what I really like about how Lady Poet sets it up is that she tries to kind of ebb and flow with it. So if one month is really heavy, and focused, in the next month she tries to lighten it up a little bit. And so, not always really, really heavy, but it's good content, and I think it's relatable. And so it's information that you can use, information that you can share, and it just is a good representation, I think, of just your average everyday person, is who we all are, and being to know, like you said, James, for people who have been in similar situations, what it looks like, or just to know that, what is it? Trouble don't last always. So
trouble don't last always. No, trouble don't last always.
There we go.
If you always good for a song, baby.
Right. Okay. So Sunday nights, 7 p.m. Anything else you want to kind of put out there, or any final words, comments?
I think my final words, and I think I said this before, a few things. One of them, we said tonight, and we've said it before on our podcast as well. No is no. Period.
Yes, for sure.
No is no. And especially as women, I think we have a tendency to want to explain why. You do not owe anybody an explanation. Your no is your no. Stick to it, stand by it, let it go. And for those in, as Tiffany mentioned, and with myself, domestic violence relationships or whatever it is, that's holding you from fulfilling your full potential. Enough is enough only when you are ready to claim it, and make the move for it. We can talk about it. You can go to therapy. You can talk to your friends. It can get on your nerves. You can fuss and fight about it, whatever the case may be. But things can and will change when you're ready to actually make the move.
Okay.
Wow.
Those are my
Love it, Cassandra. Thank you very much for that insight and that enlightenment on everybody's behalf, man, because you just don't know. It's a lot of women out here. It's not even making it out of abusive relationships. So, and unfortunately, you love the person, and don't get me wrong, like I love him, share the kid, and we became friends afterwards, after we moved on, but I still have scars, and I can't never forget.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just hard, but I'm here, and that's all that matters,
Right. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You're a survivor.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yes, Kat.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. I didn't mean, were you saying something else?
No, I was just saying, I think that it also goes beyond survivorship, because to some extent, to me, it still somewhat stigmatizes a struggle. And so, and again, life has its ups and downs, so it's just life is just going life, right? But at the same time, you begin to overcome, and I think that's where we've been talking about the mental health support, and setting those boundaries and making your no statement and developing your affirmations, and not just things to do for the sake of feeling good and feeling better, but to live it, right? So that you can stand in your purpose, because we're all here for a reason, and everybody has that divine purpose. It's just a matter of being able to have your head clear enough, to be able to hear it, because it'll present itself one way or another, and it probably already has, but you can't see it because there's so many other things in your way. So I think it definitely, we have our survivors, but then you extend beyond that as well.
Wow. Ooh-wee.
That was my word.
I need to watch some more. I need to watch some more episodes. I need to go back into the archive and hear some more.
Well, thank you so much for coming on. We definitely will do this again. I'm looking forward to this Sunday show. It's gonna be a good one. So it's gonna be a really, really good one. So definitely looking forward to that. And thank you so much.
Thank you all for having me.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I know them kids are looking for you, so you can.
We're at the park, so they about me.
Oh, that's what's going on.
They having a good time, so they all right.
They probably like, I hope she keep doing what she's doing.
Right.
Yes. Yes. I'll be looking forward to hearing from you, Ms. Williams.
Absolutely. So I like I said, we family now. So you'll definitely hear out. I got that resource to send over for you as well.
Okay.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
We'll talk some more, because I know I had mentioned the photo shoot with everything. So we're going to figure out date and all that stuff so that all of us can come together.
Okay.
And, get that together. But we'll talk some more. But thank you so much for coming on tonight.
Thank you for having me.
Okie doke. What's up, ladies?
Hey.
Listen, this Facebook has been a mess all day.
I know. It was. I was trying to get it on my page. It won't go on my page, and then it was saying that it was on your page. So I went to your page. It was showing your picture and everything. I'm like, I'm searching. I'm looking around. I'm like, I cannot find it anywhere.
Yeah, but I'm gonna get that together and definitely make sure that that's intact for next episode.
Okay, because we got some people coming in now. Liking and loving it. Because they're coming in from some of the pages it's getting shared on. So, hello to any new viewers. Hi, thank you for coming. nice of you to show up.
I wanted to. Go ahead, James.
Oh no, go ahead.
Let me say this right quick. So I know I have been out the loop, you guys, for a minute when it comes to my giveaways and everything. Tiff has been really going through some health issues, but I'm back, and I think I got a little kid going on. I'm sorry, y'all.
I'm good for a good mute moment. So go ahead, baby. I'll be like, God damn, mute on this girl.
My neighbor's child. His name is Viola. I love him so much. But okay, so I'm trying to plan on bringing this back up like around September. I'm trying to get my child together and everything. We're transitioning. I can't even say it. Transitioning from another.
We know what you mean, Grandma.
Thank you, and I appreciate that because you guys, some folks out here like to correct you.
Look, I can't even mess with you because you got Cassandra's name right the first time.
I did, didn't I? I did, Kat. I did. He was like, "Wait a minute."
I'm proud of Tiff because Tiff could tear up some names.
Absolutely. I ain't got nothing to say. Because you did that.
Your auntie, though, your auntie Courtney, where she used to chop it up. That whole side of the family used to chop it up.
Yeah.
You did that.
I ain't got nothing else to say. You did that.
Back in the day, Courtney, look at me now. Which one did you do?
She said that about you and about Pam's kids. They could not get y'all together.
Now which one? But to this day, she see my mom and she can't.
She was embarrassed you in a minute and didn't even care who she was embarrassing.
I know. And then be like, why you ain't nothing? She said, you ain't told me nothing. You ain't said hi or nothing. I said, you didn't even know who it was, girl.
No, ma'am.
But Tiff, I'm excited for us. Let me find out you got a fall giveaway. Because y'all know Tiff good for the sweet potato and pumpkin pies. So
yes, I will be starting that. Not the pumpkin pie now. I don't know how to do the pumpkin pies.
See,
we don't eat that.
That's that what coming and popping out on me.
I am gonna do the sweet potato pie.
I don't know what you talking about. We don't even know it. Pumpkin pie.
And I'm gonna do the pound cake.
I tear up some pumpkin pie. That's that Irish coming out with me because I be looking for I'll be like, excuse me, slide over that sweet potato. Let me get some of that pumpkin. Let me get some pumpkin pie, please.
See what I'm saying?
But I'm gonna do something different with I'm gonna do something different with the I'm gonna do a cake. So I'm gonna cut the cake up, but I'm gonna do my own homemade filling. So I'm gonna cut the cake up in slices. I'm gonna pour I'm telling it all right now. I'm gonna pour the buttercream on there, and I have my own filling. So my own strawberry or apple filling in the middle of it. So all you gotta do is just take the piece of the pound cake and dip it in the filling. There it is. Huh?
I said, then you be wondering why nobody can't lose no damn weight.
That ain't my problem. That is not my problem.
He said I'm making it. You ain't gotta eat it now. You ain't gotta eat it.
If you put in for the giveaway, that's your 102,000 calories right there. Hey, all I can do is just cook it and deliver it to you. Other than that, I ain't got nothing to do with that. But I will go back to doing the cards, the gift cards, and stuff like that, or cash. We're gonna make it exciting for this year, because I really believe that I had got my blessings. Everybody was excited for those. And like I said, we're gonna go back to doing like the health nut, with the doctors and everybody that want to come on to the show and have questions and concerns and maybe find them a new doctor. I'm in the lieu of doing that. I already have one in place, which is my OB. She's a GYN, but I think she's just a OB right now, and she helped me get through my menopause.
So we need her on the side. Huh?
Absolutely. It's just me getting in touch with her again to see when she's available, and getting with James here and see what we have in lieu, and what spots we can put her in. But as of right now, we're going to definitely go through that and continue with that, so we can keep it interesting. Okay.
Look, I see Kat looking at the wall. What, you got flies flying around too?
No, I was fixing my little sign.
Hello.
Hello.
You ain't hang up, did you? Because I am ready for Cat Queen's Hot Topics.
Ooh, yes.
I know she had a lot. She had a lot of stuff on that list.
It wasn't a lot. A lot of the stuff was tied in. I was just letting y'all know, what all we gonna be discussing. So the number one thing that is on everybody's mind is the
You see what I'm saying?
Watch this.
I'm not joining the net. See what I'm saying?
Y'all saw it.
And then he get on there. My ear. Y'all, man, the good old ex-president, or what some may say current president.
Future.
Future. Nah, them people that's talking about he didn't lose, he never lost. It's,
Yeah.
Them people that stormed the White House. So your good ex-pres Trump had a couple shots run off.
Yeah.
A couple shots.
Couple of rounds.
How the heck y'all miss a whole 100 shots? I'm trying to find out. But yeah, so had an assassination attempt on his life at his rally, and I know we have all seen it, all heard about it. It was really shocking. I thought but our days of presidential assassinations it's been a while since, I want to say, the last what was the last attempt?
It wasn't Nixon. What it was?
No, it was another one. I can't remember. Nah. I'm gonna have to dust my history book off, because I know wasn't
it Reagan?
No,
Reagan. It was Reagan. It was Reagan.
It was Reagan.
Yes, because he was the last attempt. I believe it was Reagan. I want to say, because I know that a last successful attempt was JFK, which we know.
Right.
So I thought, especially because I have not lived through any of those things, that maybe I just, in my mind, thought that the Secret Service had some kind of way, because I even attended an event with Joe Biden, and I couldn't have nothing on me. I went into that place. I had to leave my see-through purse outside. They weren't playing no games with the Secret Service.
Right.
So I don't know if I was just being naive or what, but I never thought I would see a live attempt on somebody's life, and it claimed the life of an innocent bystander. And even though, I don't agree with Trump or his policies or his supporters, we definitely don't ever want to see anybody losing their life, especially over any political views and things like that. These things could be talked out and all kind of things. So yeah, it's fun to joke about, but there was a life lost, an innocent person, as well as the shooter. And so it was interesting that they're saying that the shooter was a Trump supporter himself. So, they really don't have any motive behind the shooting at this time. They're searching his home to see if he has any writings or manifesto or anything that says why he did this. They released video saying that he was severely bullied and things for a lot of his life. So a lot of people were coming out saying that, they don't know why he did this. Maybe it was a cry for attention. Maybe it was something along that lines. But a lot of Trump supporters are coming out saying that they weren't happy, and they're kind of trying to jump ship, or they're blaming him because, they didn't really get all what they thought they was going to get out of his presidency. So we are seeing a lot of Republicans with some backlash with Trump. So they don't know if this is that backlash or what. There is no clear motive. So what do y'all think about that? Like, what do y'all think about presidential assassinations? And did y'all look at the video of what was going on?
I was just gonna say I saw bits and pieces of it. I mean, I obviously knew that, you know, there's always the possibility that something like that can happen. I think the most shocking piece of it is that, you know, the person you know, labeled as the shooter was, you know, supposedly a Trump supporter.
Right. That's what I was saying.
There's so much going on throughout the day as to whether it was like not a hoax, but whether it was staged. And I mean, you have a number of people, and when you really think about it, we all know that he will go through whatever measure necessary, to make it look however. So I mean, as outlandish as that could sound, I really don't put it past him. So I think I've kind of been in that space for much of the day. Like, was it staged? Because it just seemed, you know, when you really look at the video and you look at, you know, when it happened and when he got shot, and then like, you know, the job of the Secret Service is to immediately move them out of there and get them out. And it's like after the fact, like he's screaming, "I need my shoes," and then he and it's like. So you put yourself in the light, like you put yourself in harm's way again. Just like it just, I don't know. It kind of screams like it was staged. But you know, at the end of the day, I don't care what we disagree on, and if we don't feel like he should be the president and XYZ or whatever, like nobody does. Like, you don't want to see that happen.
Right.
It should never come down to that. It just should never come down to that. So, you know, I'm disappointed in that sense. But, you know, I think I'm just like everybody else, just kind of waiting and watching to see, you know, what comes up next or what comes out next, you know, as they continue to investigate it. And, yeah, I'm just waiting to see what happens from there. But I do question now, you know, whether it was something that was staged.
What about you, Tiff? What's your thought?
I looked at it and I was just really disgusted because, you know, how many times is it going to take for another life to be lost? You guys, okay, I mean, somebody need to make it make sense, because y'all was the one who decided to charge this guy on all these accounts. First of all, let's get that established. Put him in jail, get him out of jail to do a whole Republican debate, and then you take him out of all freaking places to hit town, what's the name, Butler County, for y'all to stage. I don't know if it's staged or what, but if it was staged, then it was a piss poor. I don't know. It's just weird. First of all, you got people seeing the guy up on the roof. They're telling you that the guy is up on the roof. The police officer goes up on the roof. He gets spooked by the dude putting the gun to him, and then he leaves. They did do an interview on the guy too. Then next thing you know, he's up here talking and he gets shot, not only in past the ear, basically, no, to the ear, past his brain, to somebody else's brain, to a family man, a firefighter, no doubt. One lady, she got injured and another guy got injured. Like, somebody tell me if the next day this dude did not go to this guy's house and give his condolences to the wife, to the child. No, he did not. No, he did not. Did he give his condolences?
But you know who tried to? Biden. Biden tried to talk to the wife, and she refused to call.
Well, that's her idiot ass fault.
And she said Trump has yet to reach out, anybody from Trump's team or anything. She hasn't heard any condolences or anything. They're not.
She's probably feeling really bitter. Like, I don't want to talk to nobody.
I wouldn't
want to talk to nobody.
Like, my husband died being a supporter of you, and you ain't even. I mean, I can't get a GoFundMe. I can't get a White House. I can't get a dinner and a medal, presidential medal of honor or anything.
Because baby, ain't nobody gonna pay for that funeral. Trust and believe. Ain't nobody.
I
think they did make a GoFundMe, and they gonna like, the Republicans gonna light that thing up.
Here's another question, though. That kind of speaks to the idea that maybe it could have been staged. And I saw this. I saw some other people talking about this. So I'm really paraphrasing and saying some of the thoughts that some other people had as well. But why didn't nobody run? Like when this happened,
cousin.
Because Butler ain't that far. I'd have been back in Cleveland already. Like 2
hours.
Right. That's just right off the turnpike. I'd have been back in Cleveland already. They'd be like, "Where's your car?" It's
nobody.
No, for real.
Nobody got up and ran. Old girl that was in the front, that was sitting behind him with the cell phone, she held up a sign. And I didn't even realize this. She held up that sign. Next thing you know, pow, pow, pow. She took that cell phone and gradually went down. Like nobody ducking. Nobody.
Yeah.
You have to look at like
when I looked at the footage, it looked like a scene off a Scandal.
Yeah,
it looked like a scheme orchestrated by Olivia Pope herself. If anybody has watched Scandal, you will know this is literally something she has done on the show. Like this is really, and Trump had all this.
Stupid.
Listen, I thought I was about to see Olivia in the back. You know how she be with her little, trying to figure the stuff out, moving fast. I'm looking in the back like, where Columbus Short at? Somebody back here.
Yeah, you
pulling some strings. Because if you watch, like, even the person that was sitting behind him, she just kept going like this and looking to the side and ducking and moving like she was anticipating something. She just kept ducking, and as soon as she looking and ducking, next thing you know, the shots rang out, and it was just like you said, we have seen Secret Service. They will move somebody so dang on quick. They were fumbling over each other, and even the Secret Service agents, they looked like they were actors.
Yes,
If you watch the one lady, she couldn't even holster her gun. She's sitting there fumbling around trying to put her gun in her. Like, girl, is this your first?
Did you hear? So did you hear? Dude was like, "Oh my mark!" I swear this is something from TV. He was like, "Oh my, on your mark." What you mean? On my mark? How about get the hell up out of there? They was putting the blood on his ear.
Exactly, because it was just like the photo op was too perfect. And the thing about Trump is, Trump want to be an American hero so bad.
So bad.
He really want to be just I don't know what it is, but he really wants that so bad. It's like, because he was at home looking in the mirror like, yes, look at my little scar. This look good. This is a good little accessory. I know he had his little band-aid on like, hey, I did that. Because he was
they ain't had that man on no kind of Percocet. When I sit here and tell you, when I sit here and tell you to get up and walk the next day, talking about bruh.
Yeah.
I think that it was, and Trump is a person for dramatics. He loves that type
very
of thing.
much so.
So, and I feel like, they were already saying he was down in the polls. His diehard core people riding for him like they was. So I feel like he needed to do something to get the momentum back, especially, they had the debate, they were saying Sleepy Joe was half asleep. So I think Trump was like, this is my opportunity. Let me do something to get, get my name back popping. But I don't know. It looked like I said, to me, It looked very staged, but I don't know if the person that lost his life was in on it. You know, I don't know if he wasn't. I don't know if he was in on it, but yeah, it looked definitely very staged. But the crazy thing is, all the Trump supporters were out in full effect, and 50 Cent had a concert that night, and he had a picture of Trump photoshopped on his head, and he was performing "Many Men Wish Death Upon Me." I was dying like 50, man. You always trolling. But yeah. So after that,
and you see, he was in the headlines. He was in the headlines because people were assuming that he was going to perform at the RNC.
So he was, people were saying that he was supposed to perform. A lot of what the Republicans are doing right now, which is not something uncommon during election season, is they're trying to get all their Black and hip hop people, in the frame. And that's the next thing I wanted to talk about, because we had Amber Rose speaking at the Republican convention on behalf of Trump. And
I didn't understand that.
Move a rosebud, or mother rosebud, or whatever you call yourself. What the heck is you thinking? And I want to say this. I don't know if y'all ever watched The College Hill with her and Ray J and Jocelyn. Her and Jocelyn.
Back in the day, I did.
So, like, they have a celebrity edition.
Was Ray J on there 2 seasons?
Yes, Ray J is on there every season because he fails. He fails out every season. He don't never do it.
Okay, man was always broke.
And
so the season that I watched with him, Amber Rose wasn't there.
That's the new season that's on now. So the first season was who was on there? Big Frida. Big Frida was on there. Yeah. So he was on the first season and he failed out. And then he went to the second season. I think he failed the second season too, if I'm not mistaken. He might be on the third season, but I think they just bring him on because he be mixing it up. Ray J be messy and all kind of stuff. And he even came out and said him and Amber Rose was sleeping in the same bed every night. So that was some tea, because their famous exes were married.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Her ex Kanye West and his ex being Kim Kardashian were married. So it's just very weird that he had that thing going with her. But anyway, so on this College Hill show, Jocelyn Hernandez and Amber Rose got into a fist fight because they go to a historical Black college and they're talking about all these things about race and all these things. And Amber Rose has previously said that she doesn't identify herself as a Black woman. She's not Black, that she's mixed race, or she's biracial or whatever. And so Jocelyn said, "You really want to be a white girl?" And Amber jumped up and punched her, and they fought, and they didn't even show the fight or whatever. But I never thought a day in my life that I would owe somebody like Jocelyn Hernandez an apology, because I thought she was doing too much. I'm like, let her speak on whatever how she feel, or her experiences. But Amber, you really want to be a white girl, huh?
Right. Yeah, I gotta look into that.
And she looked ridiculous sitting up there at the Republican convention with 2 giant tattoos on her forehead and a sexy dress. Like, honey, and that's the thing about these people. They want what you can bring. They know you're going to bring in some of the Black and brown people that follow her in the hip hop community. But it's like, Amber, do you really feel that you have a seat at their table? You think that when you leave, they ain't calling you everything but a child of God?
Right.
So it just was very confusing that she went from Amber Rose. Let's think a couple years ago, she was throwing the slut walks. She was all about women, reproductive health, and women's rights and things like that. Now you're backing somebody that is taking away those rights.
Yeah.
Because if you guys aren't hip to what's going on and that's why this election is very important, because the Republicans, as well as the Supreme Court, which is pretty much ran by the Republicans, the people that are appointed, they are taking away women's rights to abortion, birth control, reproductive health. They're trying to get Planned Parenthood shut down. And what a lot of people don't know is most Planned Parenthoods don't even do abortion. They do women's health. They do mammograms. They do cancer screenings. They do HPV screenings. They do pregnancy health. They do STD checks. Hey, Planned Parenthood sent me a whole bunch of COVID tests because they worried about my health. Like, Planned Parenthood does so much more than abortions or whatever. So it's weird to see somebody that's so pro women be behind somebody that's trying to seem like they're taking women's rights away.
Right.
Yeah, and so a lot of people are facing a lot of backlash from saying things over the Trump shooting. So we have a lot of people get fired
from their jobs.
A lot of ladies are fired, and there was even a lady who worked under a Democratic, I believe he was a representative, and he was a Democratic, and she had posted something like, how did they miss? And she got fired because, like people got to understand any political climates and things. People, you need to keep your opinions and things to yourself. It's not something you want to, discuss, especially at work or professionally.
And that's why I don't get into. I really don't get into a lot of political talk. But it's actually it's interesting that we talk about this because obviously with the podcast network, I want to put together, like, I don't want to be part of it, but I want to put together like a political show. Like I want some shit like a Rachel Maddow or like
right.
I want to put some shit like that together for the network. And
I like politics. I pay attention to a lot of politics, but I wish people would realize that your politicians in your city, state, neighborhood are going to affect your life way more than the president.
Absolutely.
So, your mayors, your congressmen, your city councilmen, people like that are the people that are making the laws that are going to affect you in your city. They're the ones you need to talk to about, the resources and grants and the potholes and all that stuff. So y'all really need to be voting. I vote in every election, whether it's the president or whatever. Like we have to go out and vote for Summer Hall. Like I'm definitely a person that uses their right to vote. So I would tell everybody, please use your right to vote. So many people have fought for your right to vote. And, you need to make your voice heard, especially in these times where it's just so much going on. And we even saw the group. I don't know if you guys remember Tenacious D, which is Jack Black's rock group.
Okay.
You know the actor Jack Black. Yeah. So he has a partner. They had a movie back in the day, but they have a rock band and they go on tour and all these things. And his bandmate at the concert made a comment and said, the same thing. Everybody been joking. How did y'all miss? And Jack Black canceled the tour and broke up the band and everything. Yes, just from him saying that. And they're both Democrats, supposedly. So be careful when you guys are talking about this.
Because it's one thing to speak your mind and say what's on your mind and whatnot, but when you are a part of something of that nature, like it affects more than you. And when you make comments like that, like that's gonna put a world of people against the group because of that one person. And I don't blame him. I really don't.
And he's not even the most famous one. Like I have all this going on, like you messing up my movie. I got movie deals. He just had Kung Fu Panda 4 come out. Like he got stuff going on. So I do understand that. So people make sure that it's good to make your political, affiliations known, but just be respectful, especially in your professional venues, at your job, performances, things like that. Please keep it PG. Like my brother, he is the one person that when I go visit my brother and we get to talking, he always say, no politics at the table, no politics, because he already know.
Yeah,
I agree. Yep, I agree. I wholeheartedly agree. So we'll see what comes of it. I mean, I just don't feel like nobody was paying attention to Amber Rose no day. So
I don't think so either.
But yeah.
So let's move on from that. So we have a couple celebrity deaths that just happened. We have Shannon Doherty from 90210 in Charm. She played Prue Halliwell on Charm. That's where I know her from because 90210 was a little bit,
Don't do that. Don't do that. You don't know nothing about Brenda and Dylan. Don't do that.
I'm saying I know a little bit. I know a little bit. But yeah, it was a little before my time. So I know her as the wonderful Prue Halliwell from the Charm Sisters. So she had a long battle of cancer, and if you guys don't know, she was going through a divorce where she said her husband was waiting for her to die because he did not want to pay he didn't want to pay alimony or set up the assets and things. And she said he was using her for money all along. And then when they were going through the divorce, he just kept filing motions because basically he waited for her to die. So they said she died with a lot of debt, but she was surrounded by family and friends and had a lot of love around her. So Shannon Doherty, we will definitely miss you. You were a great actress and you were so beautiful. I loved her gap. Like, it's very uncommon for especially like a lot of white actresses to have like a gap too. That was the first one I seen. I was like, oh, she cute with her gap. Like, okay, girl.
Right.
So it was weird. Like, I really liked her and I really liked Tori Spelling.
I always loved Tori.
Yeah, I liked it, Tori.
So yeah. So I didn't watch. Well, I actually did watch Charm. So I do remember her from Charmed. You know, obviously I remember her from 90210 because I was still in high school when that started coming on. So
yeah, I was too.
So I do remember her from that. I mean, you know, definitely rest in peace. It's just crazy because her cancer, it started all the way back in 2015, and then she went into remission, and then it came back, and when it came back, it was in the brain. And then it went to the bones, and it just was like, it just was no coming back from that.
Yeah.
I mean, I think no, I was just gonna say, I think the good thing or the cool thing is that, like, as far as her divorce, all that was finalized, and she signed off on it the day before she died. So
okay.
So at least at least that part was taken care of.
Okay. Because I know he was dragging his feet.
But when you know that somebody is just waiting around for you to die.
That's cool.
Yeah. And so another thing that came out with her, speaking out during her, where she was kind of making amends and, getting her affairs in order, was it finally came out that, it always was rumored that she was this person that was so hard to work with, and especially with rumors of why she was left Charmed. And it come to find out that she wasn't the problem. They're saying Alyssa Milano was the problem, from Who's the Boss. Yeah. They're saying America's Sweetheart, Alyssa Milano, was the one that had a problem with her. She was the one that was hard to work with, and she got her kicked off set. And Shannon just kind of moved on with her life, and she just kind of kept whatever people said. She said let them think what they want, but a lot of that started to come out as she was talking about things, and people were getting interviews pre her death.
But I think too, like, I want to encourage people who are watching, like, actually go back and kind of look it up a little bit, because the reality too is that, like, she had issues when she was on 90210.
She always got that, her and Tori already had that, like, they hard to work with. She's a B, and she wanna be the main person and things like that. But it did come out.
But not to co-sign it either, because I think that a lot of times when you have women in this industry who are headstrong and they know what they're talking about and they're not gonna go for no shit, and like they get labeled as hard to work with, whether they white, whether they're black, because
Absolutely.
I mean, it's like, that's just like the Monique stuff. Like, the minute that stuff went down with Precious, and she said, okay, well, you're not paying, I'm not contracted for that, so I'm not gonna do that. The minute that went down, it was like, oh, she's hard to work with, and like they totally blackballed her. Like 10, 11, 12 years, she was like blackballed. Yeah. So like, that shit is so real. And when
I think strong women get a bad rap sometimes.
Yeah, when you really look back at it, I've always looked at Shannon Doherty as just kind of that bitch. Like she knows what she's talking about. Like, she know what she's worth. She know what she's supposed to be getting. And she just not gonna go for the okie doke. And a lot of times when that happens, they label you as hard to work with. Absolutely, Matt. Like, that was my shit. Like Brenda and Dylan and Brian Austin Green's character and Gabrielle Tartier.
I thought he was so fine back in the day.
Tori Spelling, of course, and like, I could name them characters because, like, listen, I think I was maybe 9th or 10th grade, 8th grade, 9th or 10th or somewhere around in there. Like, I was watching that. I was definitely watching that. So I definitely remember. And then, you know, despite all of the issues and stuff that she had, she did come back to the series when they rebooted it, like in 2008.
Now, see, that's what I was going to say. Now, I was in high school when the reboot came on. When the reboot came on, the kids.
Yeah, I never watched the reboot.
The kids that were on there were like the kids of the people that went there the first time. So it was like people was coming back and they was like, "Oh, don't mess with that. That's such and such son." And I used to kiss him back in the day, and so it was real.
And see, I never knew that. I never paid any attention to it at all.
So that's why I said I know some, because they would do flashbacks, or they would do, or I would even go back and look at the episode like, wait, what happened between their mamas? Why they mamas beefing? Hold on, let me go back and look on 90210 and see, you know. So definitely we're gonna be missing Shannon Doherty. So the next,
I was very much into the Young and the Restless and Bold and the Beautiful around that time.
Like all the people in the comments like look like Kavion, Kayla, Matt. I know a lady poet was in there.
You like, guys, that is our new cousin.
Like, thank you, everybody.
Hammond. So,
so this is
that's Avery's wife. That's Cuz right there.
Okay.
Came to the window. I said, "Get on the podcast." She said, "Girl, I'm looking a mess." I said, "You ain't gonna be seen." Hi, Kayla.
But yeah, so yeah, rest in peace to her.
Rest in peace to her. So the next person that died was y'all Richard Simmons.
I know.
1, 2, 3, macho man.
Hey man, Richard used to have you moving back in the day. I'm saying, sure like me and my grandma used to be doing them tapes. I'd be like, "Come on, grandma, I'm ready. Come on, what we need."
Everybody had them VHS tapes.
Everybody had VHS tapes and them spandex on, okay? With the suspenders.
I had them damn the tapes, threw them away. Gained 50 pounds.
Listen, my favorite used to be the Tybo. I used to be doing the black dude doing that Tybo. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so Richard Simmons, you know, he has been out of the limelight for the last couple of years. People were saying that it was some rumors of some health issues or some personal issues. But Richard Simmons, you will definitely be missed. Kayla, I was tore up about Richard. Yes, Kayla. I was definitely sad about about Richard. Like, that was for me one of the people when I was younger. Like, all the campaigns about getting fit and exercising and stuff. It would always be Richard Simmons. Like, he'd be on Nickelodeon talking about, "Come on, kids, let's get up and dance." So I really was tore up about Richard Simmons. And so the last celebrity death, y'all, Dr. Ruth.
I was not allowed to watch Dr. Ruth. I was
taught me everything I know.
I was not allowed to watch Dr. Ruth.
Just because you wasn't allowed don't mean that you didn't watch her. Don't be playing. You ain't fooling no damn body.
Hey.
The devil is a liar.
Myself,
listen, so
not allowed.
When I was in high school, Dr. Ruth, the old episodes of Dr. Ruth used to come on like Oxygen or WeTV or something, one of them upper channels. So one day I'm going like this, blah, 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 you know, just seeing what's on. And I'm like, I see an old lady with in her hand. Hey. I'm like, what the?
Right.
Like, I think it is. I turn my volume all the way down. Listening to Dr. Ruth, okay? Dr. Ruth taught me everything I know, baby. I was listening. You said grip what? You said hold to what? Girl, I was my flavors were dashed when I was watching Dr. Ruth, okay? So Dr. Ruth, you will definitely be missed. She was just such a good role model, I think, for women. She was one of the first women that really got out there and talked about sex and, you know, let people know that it's okay to do these things, and to, especially as a woman. Ain't nobody told me nothing. Yeah, Dr. Ruth. She was the person that as a woman, to make me feel comfortable in my sexuality and to explore my body, and to, like, she made it, I believe, like, especially like in the 90s and things, like, sex was really about, you know, just pleasing the man, or, you know, like this. She was one of the first people that really talked about, you know, a woman's pleasure, and, you know, you better get yours before he get his. You better, you know, stuff like, she was one of the first people that was telling me, you know, that it is hard for females to get there more than male. So you know, you gotta do something. You know, she introduced a lot of foreplay and things like that were not talked about at that time. So definitely Dr.
How old was she? Does it say how old she was?
Nah, Dr. Ruth was old as dirt when I was a kid, so I have no idea.
She probably was still having sex. That's what I'm talking about.
But you also I also want to make sure that we point out Shelley Duvall, who passed last week. You know, Shelley Duvall was from The Shining and from Popeye. And,
she did. Yes. I loved her.
She's mine.
Yeah.
Yes, I loved her as that. I just recently.
That was Ludo's girlfriend.
I went to Universal. And they had all the Popeye characters. And
really?
It was just, like I had took some pictures with them and stuff. So definitely like that, like, oh my goodness. I'm sorry, Mr. Ball, I done left you off the list. But you will also definitely be missed. It just seems like it's just like a wave going on or something.
It's like left and right because it's like left and right because also the retired football player Jacoby Jones.
Yes. Mm-hmm. And then also we have the death of Kobe Bryant's father today.
Oh yeah, Kobe Bryant's father.
And did you guys see the what Vanessa Bryant wrote?
No.
Her it was a little shady. It was a little bit of shade.
What was she like, Bruce? Like good riddance? What she say?
So she said, you know, I was saddened to hear about, you know, my father-in-law's passing, even though I don't know him that well. And we didn't spend much time together, but time we did spend together, he seemed nice enough, and Kobe loved him. So, you know, prayers to the family.
Damn, she should have just shut up.
Yeah, that's where it comes, where if you don't got nothing nice to say, then don't say nothing. But I will say his family has tortured that poor lady.
Really?
Torture her in and out of the courts for different things, and a lot of people don't know that, you know, Kobe took care of his parents, but they began to get greedy in some people's eyes, where they wanted more, they weren't happy with the cars and the homes, and they was, you know, wanted more and more from him. And so then he ended up gifting them a lot of trophies and medals and things like that, and they was selling it behind his back.
Right.
And him and Vanessa had to go and buy stuff back, because he like, I didn't get to see you to sell it. This is like lifetime achievements that they was just, he got memorabilia. He said every time he would come over, they would have all this memorabilia for him to sign. Like, sign this, because they were selling it. And he just started feeling like these aren't really my parents. So there was a lot of disconnect between them. And he still was giving them some money to live on. And then when he died, you know, they were fighting with Vanessa. Yeah, she stopped the money. Because, you know, what the money he made, there's some things that he you know has in the works, but the money, the big money pretty much stopped. So she got to kind of hold on. She got a lot of kids to take care of. So I do understand not wanting to give them all this money when I got stuff going on. But when it comes to somebody dying, I try to have a little bit more proof than that.
Right.
But I do feel like sometimes when somebody puts you to hell, you be like, you know, instead of rest in peace, it be rest in piss, because I'm tired of you. So.
She just shouldn't have said nothing. But
I
mean, I get it though. But I think she just shouldn't have said nothing.
Yeah, I just think she's just still hurt. I just don't think she has fully processed a lot of things, and she has been keeping herself busy. Like, if you see any event and all these things, she's at these events, she's at these openings, she's at, you know, all kind of charitable events. I just don't think she really stopped and took that moment. I don't know. It just seemed like she just going. So, you know, maybe she needs to take some time to really grieve all this stuff. You know, sometimes it's hard when you're the strong person. So our thoughts and prayers go out to the Bryant family with that death. So let's talk about the movie Divorce in the Black. Did you guys get a chance to catch that movie?
I mean, I'm sorry. I have not.
I feel a certain kind of way just because.
Did you watch it?
I did.
I have not.
We're not gonna get no spoilers. So tell how you feel without no spoilers.
I'm not gonna give any spoilers.
It's on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
Prime. It's
no, Prime.
Video.
No, Prime. Okay, because something's going on with my left foot, so I'll watch it tonight. That's what I'll do.
Yeah. You got Prime?
Yeah, I have Prime.
And just for everybody to know, today is Prime Day. Today and
I
tomorrow.
know.
So if you have anything, I'm glad Megan Thee Stallion told me every day because I would have forgot all the commercials
every day.
Talk about Prime
Day. I liked all her commercials that she did.
Somebody in her marketing team is working overtime and they're doing great. So
I thought that was really, really dope. I really did like them commercials.
But about the movie, James, what do you got to say? What you got to say?
Keeping it all the way funky. I honestly thought it was pretty good. Like I'm not even gonna front to you. Like I purposely came home. I wanted to watch it. I hadn't had Prime for a while. So I actually renewed my Prime just so that I could watch it. And I honestly thought that it was pretty good. Like I thought that Corey Hardrick did really good. I'm gonna tell you right off the bat, I was like, yeah, dude, that's why Tia left your ass. Because he did. I thought that he did phenomenally in this movie. Like from the opening credits, he was a bitch. So it was just like
I didn't think I could hate anybody more than Mike.
Right.
Jill Scott.
He didn't even try to fool you. Like he was an asshole from the opening credits. But I thought it was really, really good. I thought that Megan Good did very good. I did like the dynamic of her and why can't I remember her name?
The best friend,
Debbie Morgan. I did like the
Debbie Morgan.
I did like the dynamic of she and Debbie Morgan being back together since they did Eve's Bayou together. And
movie, I was so happy seeing them
Debbie
together.
Morgan and Richard Lawson have done like 4 movies together, and they played husband and wife. So I honestly thought that it was really good. I thought when the mama took them clothes off in the church and she said, "Get his body out the casket," I was like, "Oh Lord!"
She said, "No, take him out."
That was almost like when what's her name fell in the casket in Medea's when she fell in the grave. But
oh yeah.
It was just like I was sitting here watching, and you be talking. I ain't even I be talking to myself in these movies. So I'm sitting in the bed watching the movie, and she like, "Get his body," and I'm like, "Is this bitch finna take the bitch? Wait a minute, is she finna take it up? Is she?" And then I'm talking to myself. I'm like, "Is she finna? No!" I'm like I'm hollering at the TV. I honestly thought it was pretty good. Can you say that some of Tyler Perry's movies are predictable? Absolutely. Do I think it's to the extent that like his movies are just horrible and that they just go against the culture? And I don't. I just think that we can never be pleased. I just think that no matter what we do, it's just not good enough. We complain about what we don't have and who not doing what for us and why we don't have it. And then we have one of our people that's making movies and that's putting us in the movies and that's paying us what we work in the movies. And it's not enough. It's not enough because he should hire all Black writers so that then they can do it. And the reality is we still ain't gonna support the shit.
Right. You can't make everybody happy at all.
It's like you can't win and you can't lose.
And everybody is always talking about Tyler Perry hired this person. Tyler Perry buy BT. Y'all want him to be the savior of everything, but yet y'all mad at the stuff and don't want to support him. See, the thing about me is always
when you rise to a certain level, we always try to bring each other down.
Yeah,
and that's the bad thing with our culture. And I know it's people that disagree, but hey, we all got our opinions. I really try to bring each other down, and I didn't think that it was a bit like. I honestly thought it was really good. Like I recommended it to people after watching it. Like, watch this movie.
That's how I felt.
I was like, you'll be surprised. Like, it's not like a lot of the other movies that he's made, and I don't even think the other movies were bad. But when you look at this, I was like, you would never know that it was a Tyler Perry movie. But I guess maybe I was wrong because it got a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes. But I mean,
I couldn't believe that it got a 0% on there. But like, I do think
how did you just get a 0%? Like really?
Well, on Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah.
So Rotten Tomatoes. So if they give you 100% fresh, that means it's a fresh, like fresh tomato is 100%, like it's the best. And if it has 0, then it's Rotten Tomatoes. You know.
Yeah.
So so I thought that it was good, but see, the thing about me is I can watch stuff and be entertained by it and not just be like, oh, that's crazy, and I wouldn't deal with that, and this
But we
is
sit up and
like
watch. We sit up and watch all this bullshit on Tubi all goddamn day, and be like, "Oh, that shit was strong." And
but I
like,
know people that talk about Tubi movies, but this is the thing. Why can't Black people have so-called low-budget movies or Black movies or independent? Because white people have that. They have the IFC, the Independent
absolutely,
Film
and they do
Festival,
well because they
and they do
support
well
this shit.
because they support it. And the thing is, they have low-rent movies. Do you know my mom was over here watching a movie yesterday on Hallmark Family Channel? I didn't even know what the heck that was. I didn't know Hallmark had a spinoff channel.
Let me tell you something. Don't please.
Tia and Tamari, they got a lot of movies on there.
Let me tell you something. I don't even want to hear the word Hallmark Channel until Thursday. When I go to work, it stays on Hallmark Channel on Thursday and Friday. I had to work Monday. I literally turned from it because my lady has dementia. She puts herself in those moments. Oh my God, we gotta go to the wedding. I'm like, look. Wedding.
But that's how
every movie is a wedding.
It's a wedding, or the lady moved back to her small town.
Yes.
She found love with the humble carpenter, and she's leaving her New York life behind for small city living. But you know, the stuff the sets be cheap, the actors be iffy, but the white people still enjoy it. It don't have to be, y'all act like he got to be Lee Daniels or he got to be, you know, freaking Stephen King or something. Sometimes stuff is just for entertainment. And I feel like anybody that went through hell in a relationship can definitely relate to that movie. Now, have I had somebody do the things that he did in that movie? No. But could I relate to being with somebody that didn't want to leave me the fuck alone? Hell yeah. Right, like, you know, so I just think people judge these Black movies, and especially, y'all understand, we're coming off where we're not getting as much money. We don't get enough promo. We're coming disadvantaged already coming into it. And he's got this movie that is on Prime, on a different network, that y'all be like, oh, he just want to be on BET, or he just want to be on Netflix. He on a new platform. He got Megan Good. Megan Good killed that role. She looked amazing. Like, I really, really liked the movie. Now, is it the best thing ever written? No. But was it entertaining? Hell yeah.
But what do you think about Lonnie Love's comments?
So Lonnie Love had made a comment saying that she's tired of these Tyler Perry movies and that he needs to hire better writers, and he needs to stop. She said, stop saving money by him doing the writing and directing. He needs to hire some Black writers and hire these people and stuff like that. But it's like, first of all, you don't know who he got hired. You don't know what's going on. You're not in the ins and outs. And I know that Lonnie Love, if Tyler Perry called you today to be a star of his movie, you telling me you wouldn't be on that movie? You telling me you wouldn't accept that check? You would be happier than a clam to be on there. But I just feel like people are just really like Tyler Perry. Yes, think of the character Medea. It's wild. It's outlandish. It's not meant to be true life. It's not meant to be, you know, a true story. And it's supposed to be a little kooky and a little outrageous. And, you know, that's the whole genre. Do y'all not remember the plays? The plays were, you know, they was calling it the Chitlin Circuit and all that. You know, they was saying all that, but it's like, it was entertaining. He knows his audience. Do I think that it could be some tweaks made to bring the Tyler Perry film world into, you know, what's going on now? Yeah, I think everything could be tweaked and made a little bit better, but I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. And I even made my mom watch the first scene. I'm like, Mom, she came around the house. I'm like, Mom, sit down. You got to watch this, girl. This is crazy. I made her, my nephew. I'm like, y'all need to watch this because it's good. Then I got online. I see people talking about, I don't talk to people that watch stuff like that. Like, girl, that don't have nothing to do with my life. That was a movie. That ain't nothing. I ain't gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna try to be like that now that I didn't watch this Tyler Perry movie. Now I gotta go be ghetto and do all. Like, no, it's just entertainment. Like, people need to realize that they can watch something without being super influenced by it.
Right. But yeah, I think I feel like her comment was shady.
I'm very surprised that she even said anything like that. That's
me too, Tiff. I saw that. I just saw that.
I'm serious.
But I think it was shady. I just think that for who you are and for who he is, if you really felt that way and you had any kind of opinion or whatever, you could have just reached out to him and
exactly.
you done been at his parties and you did XYZ. Like you could have got in touch with him and said, let's talk about it and here's some ideas or here's some thoughts or whatever.
Or you could have even said, hey,
any damn way.
She could say, hey, I got a writer friend that I worked with on this movie. You know, give them a chance. Or you know, you could be doing anything but tearing somebody down, especially publicly. I hate Black people tearing Black people down publicly. Yeah. You know, it's just especially with it being new and people excited to watch it. That could make 1,000 or however many followers Lonnie Love have say, hey, I don't want to watch that movie now just because you made that comment. It's not okay. It's not fair. And we need to just, you know, start doing better. So I think that pretty much was all the hot topics I got for y'all today.
That's all that's really popping out there. But listen, I thought it was a great show today. I appreciate you ladies as always. Next week we are having Latif Hughes. New movie star. Yes.
Get these movie stars in. Get these and support. Like I said, support these movies, these independent films and stuff. Like let's rise ourselves. Let's transcend this culture. Like we are all out here trying our best.
Absolutely. So
if your comments, like if a comment is not going to help them, if it's going to be more hurtful than helpful, keep it to yourself.
Absolutely.
That's my thought. And I just think that between the two of them, like she could have reached out to him and said what she had to say or whatever. Like, why criticize him to the public?
Right.
Because I know she would feel a type of way if she had a tour out and he was, hey y'all, Lonnie's tour sucks.
Right. So I don't know, but you know, it is what it is. But look, I appreciate y'all. We'll be back next week. Like I said, Latif Hughes, many know him as King Teeth of King Teeth Media. He's going to be on the show next week. So we'll start getting some promo out for that. Actually, promo's done for that already. So we'll probably start running that tomorrow. And we got some other surprises that's going to be coming up. Whole lot happening here on Transcending the Culture. If you are interested in potentially being on the podcast, you can send us an email. It should be on that scroller down at the bottom. Transcending the Culture 1 at gmail.com. Of course, you can DM us on Instagram. That's Transcending TC. Obviously, follow us, like, comment, share us. I don't know what's going on, Kat. You guys can get me at I am James Grant. Hey, listen. I got a broadcast network now on Instagram on my I am James Grant. You can get me on all social media platforms at I am James Grant. So if you hit me on Instagram, you can get the broadcast network. Definitely follow. That's where all my motivational stuff is going to be going to from now moving forward. I do still have Mighty Networks, and I'm going to keep it because I got a lot of members on there as well. So I will keep sharing some things there, but the bulk of it is going to be on Instagram. So make sure that you hit I am James Grant on Instagram and make sure that you follow and then tag onto that broadcast network. I also have a paid network that you can join. It's only 99 cents a month. So it's, nothing crucial. 99 cents a month. That's on Authentically James. And that's where you will get the serious meat and potatoes. You'll get all kinds of stuff about the network, stuff that we got going on, some of the exclusives. We will be having some exclusive celebrity lives that nobody else will see outside of those members on that platform. So Authentically James, you can join there and of course follow. And that's it. UGdigital.com. Everything is now going to be at UGdigital.com. So we are nixing the Transcending the Culture.com because it's a lot of issues with that domain, and it's like it's up and it's down and it's up and it's down. And, everything is now going to be at UGdigital.com. So obviously, you guys know where you can stream us and you can catch us every week, but we'll also be running there on the website now on UGdigital.com. So you guys can get us there as well. We appreciate you guys. I'll leave it to you and Tiff to shout your socials before we close out.
You guys know, follow me at Cat Queen, KATKWUEEN. And you guys I have Instagram, I have Facebook, and I'm trying to get all my followers up on TikTok. I'm going to be doing some lives, especially. So follow me at Cat Queen and definitely follow the TikTok Transcending TC on TikTok.
Yes,
I'm going to be doing some
be on
fun
TikTok,
lives.
baby.
Yes, I have. I did hopped on the live a little bit this weekend to play around with it. Yeah, I had attended. My friend had a live party. It was her birthday. Man, they had me on here doing some things that, honey, I shouldn't have been doing.
Trust me. Trust me.
They had me on there. I would have chimed on in.
I know. I just met some really cool people, and I just pop in and pop on. I don't really know when I'm gonna be on there, but I happen to be home and they had the lights going and the music, be people on there DJing and stuff. So we're going to be doing some fun stuff on TikTok Live. So definitely follow us on there. Yeah.
I love y'all.
Tiff.
And you guys can follow me on all platforms: Facebook,
Instagram,
you ain't gonna
act like TikTok. You're not going to act like too tired to talk to us. You better get yourself together. You ain't but 30 minutes away.
But I'm only at my followers actually went up. I'm at 320, 317, I believe right now on TikTok. I really ain't doing
you only need 500 to go live now.
I see that. I see that. So I need to step my game up.
I'm trying to get to that. I'm trying to get to that. Tiff, let's try to get to 500 by the end of the summer. Let's see if we can do it.
We're gonna have to do some reels when we get to the reunion. Definitely gonna have to do that.
I mean, if you just show a little leg while you in church, you might get them followers.
Little Lord, them little DMs. What you doing? Nothing. I got a man now.
Look like I struck a nerve. Let me shut up.
He's got a man.
Nah, I appreciate y'all.
But I did want to say we will be having our family reunion this weekend.
Yes!
So looking out for some fun videos and lives from all our pages. We're gonna be having fun. So watch out, Transcenders. Y'all coming to the reunion.
You coming to the reunion, y'all. You gonna eat some cake and some other stuff. It's a surprise. But y'all make sure y'all wear y'all some old tennis shoes because both of y'all is gonna be partaking in some activities. So don't be trying to come cute. I'm gonna have my hair and my lashes on, but I mean, don't be trying to.
I can't stay at Tiffany. I swear to God, I can't.
I'm ready to compete, so I'm there. I'm there, baby. All right, y'all.
All right.
All right, y'all. I love y'all.
Love you too. Bye, everybody.
I'm working on some stuff, so I'll keep y'all posted on everything. But we got the promo for Latif already, so we'll start pushing that out. Honestly, I might post tonight.
And Kayla, thank you for.
She said have fun.
I mean, she's not going to be at the reunion. Her and Avery cannot come. They were mandated to partake in their prime, so they have to be at the good work.
All right, y'all.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
listen, everybody, we appreciate you guys for watching us too. Thank you so much for tuning in and commenting and liking and subscribing and sharing us. Continue to share us, with all your peoples, and we will continue bringing you guys some pretty dope content, and we're gonna continue growing. Make sure that you guys catch Open Letters to a Survivor as well. They are on each and every Sunday. I'm sorry, at 7 p.m.
Sunday at 7.
And that's going to be running at ugdigital.com as well. Also on the UG Digital Media and Podcasting's YouTube page, but we'll have all the links and everything there for you to catch it. But ultimately, ugdigital.com, you will be able to watch it there as well. So thank you guys, and we appreciate you, and we'll see you guys definitely next Tuesday, but maybe a little bit before, because we may have some other stuff coming up too. So we appreciate you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Listen, I swear to God, I feel like Kathleen Turner and what's that movie? And she was swatting the flies. There's so many goddamn flies in this house.
Did you cut us off yet?
No, I know they listening to me.
It's just one fly that just keeps going back and forth.
They probably sitting at home like, do we think he's not live anymore? Yeah, I know. I swear to God, I know I'm still live. All right.
Oh my God.
Fruit fries and bring it to your knees, okay?
Oh my God.